Hey guys, what is going on? Steven back again, and wow, what an episode that was. Beyond the Wall. So let's go over it, let's talk about it. So, of course, the episode starts off with our little fellowship there, plus some extra wildlings for cannon fodder, heading towards that Arrowhead Mountain that the Hound saw in the flames. Now, what was really cool is while they were heading there, seeing all the different characters and their stories basically mashed together. You know, you get Gendry, who yells at Thoros and Beric about the time they sold him to Melisandre, but of course you get the Hound, who cracks jokes saying, hey, what's your problem, kid? You were naked, she was naked. Sounds like a good time. I don't see anything wrong with that. And, they basically seem to bury the hatchet. And then, of course, the next story you get is Jon and Jorah talking about their dads. Jon saying to Jorah, hey, I'm sorry about your dad. He should not have been killed that way. But, hey, don't worry. We avenged him. We killed all those mutineers and stuff. And then, of course, you got Jorah there who reminds Jon that Ned Stark wanted to kill him. And then, of course, you got Jon who attempts to give Jorah a long claw back, saying, hey, it's been in your family for generations. This belongs to you. You should have it. But what was really interesting is Jorah won't accept it. He says he doesn't deserve it and implores Jon to give it to his own kids one day. Very interesting right there. So who knows? Maybe Jon will end up having children one day. Who knows? And then, of course, the next thing we get is, more of the Aria Sansa confrontation, stuff like that. Arya's confronting Sansa about the letter. Sansa's defending herself, saying, hey, it wasn't really me that was doing it. I was forced. Arya's like, well, you could have done something. I saw you there, in your pretty dress and stuff like that. And then, of course, back and forth they go. Well, if you were there, then why didn't you rush up on stage and, kill Cersei and stuff? I didn't see you doing anything. I think this is really interesting little conversation, stuff like that. I really think they're kind of playing off on each other. I think this whole thing is probably an act between these two, since Littlefinger is around there and he's probably watching, hey, my plan is working. I'm defying, the Stark sisters and stuff like that. When I'm sure in reality, this is all just a ploy and a plan and stuff like that. I bet they want him to think that, they're divided when they're actually together. I bet that's really what is happening. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is actually tension between them. But who knows? I mean, we do know Littlefinger is there. And, he's creeping around and stuff like that. So maybe that's what they want him to think. That, hey, we're split, we're divided. But who knows? Then, of course, what else do we have? After that, we have Tormund and the Hound. Great dialogue between those two. Both of them talking about, Brienne and stuff like that. Just classic comedy gold right there between those two. I hope we see more of them in Season 8. I think that'd be awesome. Then, of course, we get another awesome line from Beric, who tells Jon that he does not look like Ned Stark. Very interesting right there. I mean, we already know, but he doesn't yet. But, hey, that was really cool. Cool little line right there. Beric tells Jon he does not look like Ned Stark. Very cool. And then, of course, they continue on about the Lord of Light, Well, he resurrected me. I don't know what he wants, And then what was that other line? What does... I can't find it. He says something about, what does the Lord of Light want from me? And I think Beric said something about, I don't know. And Jon's like, well, that's all anybody can ever tell me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So very interesting right there. And then, of course, they finally arrive at the arrowhead-shaped mountain. And then, of course, after that, we get onto a very interesting scene right here. Dany and Tyrion. This is a very cool scene right here. It's kind of, I guess, could go inside with that whole theory video I did about Tyrion killing Dany. I mean, that is still really low, to me, really low on the possibility chart. But, you do see the tension between them. I mean, granted, Dany is like, well, I like you, Tyrion. You're not a hero. You don't go out and do dumb stuff and things like that. You don't try to be a hero, which is what I want. And then of course you get Tyrion asking, or not asking, but talking about conversations about, hey, we're gonna meet my sister. You do tend to lose your temper a little bit too often. You got to be careful on that. Because my sister will try to do something. She will try to, egg you on and stuff like that. So, I mean, you got to be careful and stuff like that. And then, of course, there is more tension, between those two, saying, hey, what is going to happen? We should have a plan. I mean, you're going off, doing all these crazy things. You're going off into battle. What is our backup plan? I mean, because Tyrion's like, hey, I watched you in that battle. I saw hundreds of arrows come flying at you. All it takes is one, and you would have been dead. I mean, you were brought down, and Jaime was about 10 seconds away from basically impaling your face right into Drogon. So, I mean, what is our backup plan? I mean, if something was to happen to you, what do we do? And, of course, Dany's getting pissed off, like, oh, you just want to know who's going to sit on the throne and stuff like that. So, of course, there's more tension between those two. But, I mean, kind of do need a backup plan. I mean, if Dany does die, what's going to happen? I'm pretty sure the Dothraki are not going to follow Tyrion. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with the Unsullied if she dies. I mean, I don't know what the relationship with Grey Worm and Tyrion is, but... hey, what, 8,000, 7,000 men? Not enough to really make a difference. So, there is still more tension between those two. I mean, there is more tension coming up later on in this episode, between those two. Yeah, there is still a lot of tension between those two. Tyrion warns her not to lose her temper in the meeting. Daenerys doesn't want to talk about a potential successor because she cannot have children after, that magic abortion the Dothraki witch gave her. Tyrion feels it's necessary to discuss it if she's going to continue riding dragons into battle and risking her life. And of course, Daenerys says, we'll discuss the succession after I wear the crown. And of course, she storms off. I mean, that's really interesting right there. I mean, what if you don't wear the crown? What if you die before then? I mean, you need a backup plan. But, yeah, anyways, then of course we get the zombie bear, which was awesome. Seeing, Beric light up his sword and stuff like that. That was really cool. And then, of course, you get the Hound, who is still terrified of fire, because of course the bear comes charging right at the Hound, and the Hound freezes up. And of course sadly Thoros basically sacrifices his life for the Hound, getting bit in, what was it, the shoulder? Yeah, the shoulder. Until Jorah stabs in the brain. So kind of thought maybe the Hound was getting over his fear of fire after that previous episode when he did get near the fire and finally saw vision in the fire, but apparently not. So they continue following the bear tracks back to where it came. And then of course we get more conversation. Jorah and Thoros talk about the time they invited Pike. Jorah says, "You're the bravest man I ever saw." Thoros just like, "Nope, I was just the drunkest." And then, of course, after that, we do finally get the scene with the small group of whites being led by a single White Walker, and they decide to set a little trap. We get the little campfire and stuff like that, and they go down and attack that small little group and stuff like that. And then what was really interesting, what I thought is, if a White Walker is killed, basically that army or that little group did get destroyed, all except for one. So that does basically conclude that, hey, like I thought, one of two outcomes for this was going to be, if the Night King dies, the army gets destroyed, or my second thought was going to be, if the Night King is dead, it might be something like the whole World of Warcraft Lich King thing, where there must always be a Night King to basically control the army. But after this episode here, it basically confirms, hey, kill the Night King, the army's gone. Army's basically going to crumble to dust. But anyways, they do capture one. And then, of course, it yells out loudly and stuff like that, and ends up, attracting the rest of the army. And then, of course, Jon sends Gendry off running. Poor guy can't catch a break. I mean, he goes from rowing for 4 seasons to running now. So, he goes back to Eastwatch. Raven is sent out. I do have some other pictures here. There we go. There's one of Dany and Tyrion's in their conversation. But yeah, Gendry takes off running. So poor guy can't catch a break. He's either running or rowing. He does leave his hammer behind, which I actually hope makes it back, because I mean, we did see the Hound using his hammer, and then as they're on that little island there, the Hound does throw the hammer down and pulls out the dragon glass weapon. So kind of hope Gendry gets his hammer back. I mean, badass looking hammer. I mean, who knows? But they make it onto the little island, and of course the army starts falling into the cracked ice and everything like that, and they camp out there waiting, and Gendry makes it back to Eastwatch. Davos sends the Raven, and unfortunately, while they're waiting, they do lose Thoros. Thoros does end up dying, which kind of sad, kind of sucked. And they have to, of course, burn his body. So, which is now Barrack's basically on his last life. Hey, there's no more mulligans, there's no more do-overs after this. I mean, next time you die, that's it, you're dead. Then, of course, we see, the Night King and his lieutenants looking, over at them, watching them. And then, of course, this is the scene, basically, where you don't take the Hound anywhere, because then he starts throwing rocks at them, knocking one of his jaw off. And then, of course, the second rock he throws basically glides right across the ice, doesn't fall through, and, the walkers pay attention to that, and shit goes down. All the walkers start heading right towards that little island that they're on. So, I mean, can't take the Hound anywhere. And then, of course, as they're getting rushed, some of the walkers, start falling through, because, the Hound smashes down into the ground and makes like a little cracked hole and stuff like that, and they start falling through. And then it was freaky seeing Tormund getting basically pulled down. He almost died, which would have sucked, because I mean, Tormund's awesome. I mean, I want to see more of Tormund and the Hound together. Just another meeting, just another conversation between those two would be fantastic. But we almost lost Tormund there, but he does get saved, thankfully. I mean, it would have sucked. I mean, I kind of want to see Tormund and Brienne more as well. I think that'd be awesome if they did, end up hooking up and stuff like that. I think that'd be hilarious. But yeah, I mean, they do get Tormund, which was good. And then, of course, the army basically surrounds that little island. And, of course, we lose more of those, little no-named wildlings that were just there for cannon fodder, really. I mean, that's really all they went for. And, of course, just as they are, about to be overrun, that's when, Dany flies in. Oh, there we go. There's another shot of... I forgot I had these pictures. Here's a really interesting one here. I'll have to go over this one later. But yeah, Dany arrives with her dragons, causing destruction, lots of fire, lots of death, killing a few hundred walkers and stuff like that. Drogon does land on that little island there. Everybody starts to climb up. Jon provides cover, which was good, but I mean, should have ran back sooner and they could have got out of there, I think. But, while the other two dragons are providing cover in the sky, the Night King shows off his javelin skills, which I know a lot of people had, or a lot of other reviewers, I should say, have had a problem with. Well, why did he take aim at Viserion? Why didn't he take aim at, a downed Drogon? Since Drogon was right there in the middle of the island, just standing there, while Viserion was flying around. Plot armor, really. I think Drogon is a very important dragon, so he does have the plot armor, really, I think. But, anyways, Viserion flies over, and, Night King does his javelin skills, and, hits him right in the ribs, or right in the neck, or something like that, and, goes crashing down, and, that was a really rough scene to watch. The poor dragon, and of course, after he got hit, seeing Drogon, I don't know, yelling out, or crying out, or just roaring out in general, that was tough to watch. Poor dragon, and of course he comes crashing right into the ice and stuff like that, and sinks to the bottom of the lake. And of course Jon's still out there fighting. He tells him to take off, and he gets tackled into the water, and Daenerys finally sees that the Night King was ready to claim number 2, but Drogon gets out of there and just misses getting hit by an ice spear. Jesus, Drogon, 2 spears getting thrown at him in one season. Poor dragon. That dragon can't catch a break. Granted, one did hit him, second one almost hit him, but the group does escape, which was nice. Of course, we knew it was going to happen. They do have their proof, they do have their evidence, they do have a white, so they do have that. And then of course, Jon finally comes out of the ocean, or the lake, whatever you want to call it, and what was really cool is we finally see Benjen Stark again coming to the rescue. I think this is his second time saving Jon, I think, or was it his first? I know he saved what, Bran once. Did he save Jon once or twice? I don't remember, but either way, this is going to be the last time Benjen Stark saves anyone, because he gives Jon his horse, tells him to get out of there, and ends up getting overrun by the dead, and end up losing him too. So that's kind of like the last time we'll see poor Benjen. Poor Benjen won't be saving anyone else anytime soon. What else do we have? Daenerys stays at the wall. Of course, she's in pain after watching Viserion die, and now everyone's telling her, hey, it's time to go, we gotta get out of here. But of course she wants to stay waiting for Jon, which he does arrive, and of course they take him to her boat, which I don't know who brought the boat up there, but hey, either way, there's a boat. And of course she finally sees all the stab wounds and stuff like that he suffered from the Night's Watch. And then we do get the moment Jon wakes up. Daenerys is there. Hey, sorry about your dragon. Kind of sucks. And he ends up, I guess, technically bending the knee to her. How about my queen? So it was bound to happen. We knew it was going to happen. Jon bends the knee to his aunt, which I'm sure will be the other way around soon enough. And then, of course, she pledges to destroy the army of the dead together with Jon, which, in a way, to me, seems like she's getting the Stannis Baratheon storyline. If you think about Stannis' story, what was it? He was all about, the Iron Throne is mine by right, I'm going to take the Iron Throne. He attacks Blackwater Bay, he gets destroyed, and then, of course, he regroups, and he's ready to go back for another attack when I think it was, Sir Davos, who said, hey, we get this letter from Castle Black, wildlings are coming, a true king would do what is best for his people, and, Stannis ends up going north with, his army, or sellsword's army, whatever you want to call it, and, helping out the Night's Watch. Dany's story is basically kind of the same thing. The Iron Throne is mine, by right. She goes on the attack. She sends the Greyjoy fleet and the Dornish fleet to King's Landing. She sends the Unsullied to Casterly Rock to take that. Shit goes sideways. The fleet's destroyed. The Unsullied is stranded there in Casterly Rock. So, that's basically the same thing. And now she's pledging, hey, I'm going to go north and help you defeat this army as well. Kind of the similar Stannis Baratheon storyline to me, it seems like. But hey, that's just my, that's just my theory on it. But hey. And then, of course, we get this pretty cool little picture here. It shows, the whole flight path and everything like that. Here's where our group went north. They went to Eastwatch, and then they traveled all the way out here. Then they sent Gendry back to Eastwatch, who ended up sending a raven all the way down here to Dragonstone, which, Dany ends up flying all the way back, all the way up here to Eastwatch, and flies right into the battle scene, and then, of course, flies back to Eastwatch, and then they get on a boat, and apparently they're sailing back. Now, this did happen, I believe, within a day, because don't forget, in one scene, they did end up waking up. They did fall asleep. It was somewhat nighttime, and then they woke up during the day. So this is a period of at least a day that all this happened. So whether or not, that is enough time to fly a raven down to Dragonstone and then fly all the way back up is enough time, well, I don't know, who knows, but, but hey, I know a lot of people are criticizing that, well, what, ravens have teleporting skills now, dragons have supersonic speed, a lot of people were complaining about, but hey, it was over a day or so, I think, that, everything went down from the ice cracking to the attack and stuff like that, so, possibly plenty of time. But, yeah, that was basically all of episode 6. Very interesting. Lots more things to go over, in another video. But going forward, it will be awesome to see more of what is going to happen with Tyrion and Dany. Is there going to be more friction between those two like there is now? And also, what's up with Varys? Where's he been? He's been, like, here and there, but he's, like, not at, like, these, I don't know, council meetings and stuff like that. Like, in this scene here, where Dany's talking to Tyrion, there's no Varys around. So what's he been up to? What's he doing? I also hope we get to see more on who's leaking the information. I don't know if that will be revealed in episode 7 or not, or if that will be pushed into episode 8, but that is very curious. Who is leaking the information? Who told them, or who told, Cersei and Jaime, hey, she's attacking Casterly Rock, she's sending her fleet to King's Landing, that will be interesting going forward, but, yeah, that's what I'm really looking forward to, is seeing more tension between, Tyrion and Dany. She's basically ignoring her advice. Tyrion did warn her, hey, don't go north, don't take your dragons, don't go north. They knew the risks going out there, and, she's like, no, you warned me enough times, I've sat by and got destroyed, and, hey, I'm taking action now. I'm going up there. I'm taking all my dragons. She ignored his warning, and she lost a dragon. So, I don't know. Very interesting. Will be interesting going forward, seeing what happens. Is she going to keep continuing to ignore Tyrion's advice, or is she going to keep doing her own thing? I mean, if she keeps doing her own thing, I think she's going to get herself killed. Sometime during season 8, whether it be episode 5 or 6, she's going to get herself killed. I mean, Tyrion told her, don't take the dragons, to that battle and stuff like that. She ignored him. She took the dragons. She got shot down. Jaime was about 10 seconds away from killing her. And then he warns her again, don't go up north. They knew the risks going up there. They knew the consequences. Don't go. She went up there. She lost a dragon. She's refusing to, talk about a successor, because, hey, if you get killed, there's nothing left. Our whole plan and stuff like that completely falls apart. Because like I said earlier, most likely the Dothraki will not follow Tyrion. I have a feeling they won't. Maybe the Unsullied will, but who knows what numbers they are. She had, 8,000 or so, give or take. And then, of course, during the siege at Castle Rock, I'm sure she lost maybe a few hundred or something like that. So either way, that is not enough. But, she refuses to name a successor. She wants the Iron Throne first, and then she'll talk about it. But, hey, I don't know. I think if she just keeps ignoring Tyrion, she's going to get herself killed. But that's just my thoughts. But anyways, overall, awesome episode. That was awesome, seeing all the White Walkers, the dragons, seeing the poor dragon get killed and stuff like that. That sucked, but hey, gotta have casualties. But anyways, awesome episode. Sorry for rambling on, so I want to finish this up. So, great episode. Can't wait to see the season finale. If you guys liked the video, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. That'd be awesome. Remember, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I will be doing more Game of Thrones videos. Tomorrow I will have my episode 7 trailer breakdown video up, as well as prediction video later on near the end of the week when we get the episode 7 pictures and synopsis as well. And what else? I'm trying not to ramble here. Game of Thrones Season 8 will be filming this October, so I will be doing filming update videos on that. Anytime there's new filming pictures or news or something like that, like I've been doing with The Walking Dead, I will be doing that with Game of Thrones. So if you want to know what is happening, all the little behind the scenes filming update videos and stuff like that, stick around, because I will be doing those. Like they said, they will be start filming in October, so not too long, month and a half away. So be sure to stick around, and follow me on social media. Links are in the description box below, and of course leave me your thoughts and comments. What do you guys think about the episode? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What do you think about the Sansa Aria storyline? What do you think about the friction between Tyrion and Dany? Do you think that will continue? Do you think she will follow his advice now, or will she go off and do her own thing? Let me know. And sorry for rambling. Unfortunately, this is my longest video. Sorry about that. But anyways, stick around. More videos are on the way, and I will see you guys next time.